Voiceless Greentail by M. van der Nest. It is early in the morning and sun hastens to peep over the ridge. The faithful animals awake one by one and look surprisingly at the morning light. Now what is wrong with Sun? Why is she so early? She might as well start her work when Greentail cockies the usual morning crow. Greentail did not even make one sound yet. They stretch their legs and move in the direction of Sun, as to investigate what the problem might be. But as they reached Greentail's perch, they were perplexed to see the sight before them. Greentail sits with his head in his feathers. He is not moving, and everything looks sad about him. His tail feathers look wilted. His head hangs, and above all, his arms are clinging to his throat. What an impeccable sight! Greentail, hisses Flat-billed Goose anxiously. What on earth is wrong with you? Greentail Cock tries to clear his throat, but they could only hear a small, coarse voice. I don't know. My crow is gone, my voice is gone, and my throat is really sore. He struggles to swallow. Flatbill realizes that Greentail has a lot of pain. Wait, replies Flatbill quickly. I need to call Dr. Owl, and he flops out of sight. Greentail looks ashamed at his friends, all gathered around him. I'm so sorry. I wasn't able to wake you this morning. It's all right, because we are very spoiled to be wakened by you, Greentail Cock. You are doing it faithfully every morning, said Hannah Hen. The animals leave Greentail to have a rest and walk to their regular farm jobs. But as soon as Dr. Owl arrived, you could see dust plumb as they all hurried back to hear his verdict. Dr. Owl put his big stethoscope on his ears and listened carefully. He feels gently around Greentail's throat. Greentail needs to open his beak wide as Dr. Owl examines him further. The doctor shakes his head pitifully and looks at Greentail. No way! Greentail, you are going to be out of action for a little while. You cannot use your voice at all. Your throat is tremendous sore. I need to give you medicine at once, comes the doctor's verdict, short and businesslike. The animals look wide-eyed at Dr. Owl and then at Greentail. Oh no! Who is going to wake us every morning? Asks Flatbill concerned. Dr. Owl only shakes his head and says, Sorry, Flatbill, but I cannot give you an answer. Then he flies away to enjoy his daily sleep. This is my moment, thought Turnip Turkey. He flies to Greentail's perch, sits his head in the clouds and nose in the air on top of it. Kulu, 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 kulu. I will in the case, as I'm now on the perch. But his words hung in the air as he lost his balance and tumbled to the ground. He is adamant to be the crowing king. He flew up just to occupy his place on the perch again. This is only a business to shake your head about, thought the rest of the animals. Turnip Turkey kulu kulu impressively, but to no avail. None of the animals are impressed, and they return to their work. You can't ignore me like that, Turnip yells as they leave. As for Greentail, he is in too much pain to consider Turnip's new position. He walks to his bed, drinks his medicine, and falls asleep. Turnip kulu kulu the whole day on Greentail's perch. It is driving most of the animals crazy, especially Flatbill, who just had enough of the spectacle. Turnip Turkey, get off immediately, said Flatbill Goose strictly. Nobody appointed you. I suggest that we vote on this, because what you are doing is not right. Flatbill, you can't make any suggestions, seeing that you are not the one sitting on the perch. Turnip loses his balance again and tumbles to the ground. Red Bull Ox blocks Turnip's way and speaks with a firm voice. We will vote tonight. Red Bull blows hard in Turnip's face and he coughs from the dust. All right, I get it. We can vote, but I say again that I will be the one responsible to wake you with my crowing. That evening they all gathered in the barn. Flatbill takes the place of Greentail and welcomes the assembly. Guys, proceed Flatbill. As you know, Greentail has a severe sore throat, and therefore we have a small problem. We need someone who can work in his place until he can speak again. Turnip Turkey appointed himself, but I honestly think we need someone trustworthy for this job. Yes, great idea, shouted the animals together. Well, in that case, are there any suggestions? Said Flatbill Goose. Yes, said Hannah Hen. What about Polka Peacock? He doesn't take nonsense, and he has a loud voice to wake us up. Turnip shakes his head and replies, You know, I'm also a big bird too. Turnip Turkey, interrupted Polka Peacock. You can't even stay 1 minute on the perch. In any way, there's something else that urgently needs your attention as well. And what can that be, Polka? And so Turnip's attention was directed back to the meeting. There is a big problem in the fields. The neighbors' crows like to eat the corn and other crops, so maybe you can help to chase those thieves away. I think you can be of great help in doing that, believe me. And why can't you do it, Polka? Asked Turnip. Well, to be honest, with my long tail, I cannot move as fast as you can. So what do you think? Can you do it? Turnip raises his eyebrow with understanding and replies, Ah, good. In that case, I will chase them away. Thank you, Turnip, says the animals relieved, and so they voted for Polka. The farm animals walked back to their pens to have a good night's rest. The next morning, before Sun had a turn to show her face, Polka crows on Greentail's perch. The animals are highly impressed by their choice and proud of Polka's fine job. He also keeps a keen eye on everyone and everything. Greentail's throat is still sore, but he is thankful that Polka is crowing in his place. He knows the farm and yard are in good hands. Dr. Owl pays his usual keen visits to make sure Greentail gets his medicine. Greentail improves by the day. Although his throat is better, he still has no voice. Dr. Owl needs to calm Greentail often, as well as reassure him that his voice will return. Not long after that, bit by bit, Greentail was so glad that he could utter a word. Flatbill also made sure that Greentail stayed updated with all the work on the farm. Not long afterwards, Greentail and Polka decided to surprise the animals and crow together. Wake up! Wake up! What a noise! The animals nearly had a big fright, but Polka and Greentail couldn't help but to have a good laugh together. And so it happened that Greentail got his voice back. He thanked Flatbill from the bottom of his heart for all his hard work. He also came to the conclusion that Flatbill is not such a bad goose after all. He is definitely a friend, a true friend indeed.